Hello, this is Diego Mangabeira. This is the first episode from this podcast, the Eagle Sales. And everything started, I'll say, 16, 17 years ago when I started working with sales, marketing in different companies, enterprises, multinational companies, also startups, SMEs, working in different industries, working with different geographies. I decided to create this podcast just to summarize all this knowledge, all these experiences that I've been working with. Also, to share some content with you that would be really appreciated, I'll say, with best practices or even with some things that I see in the B2B sales atmosphere or environment, or some things that might be applicable to your daily activities. Okay, everything started when I first worked with sales, and that was in 2008. 2008, yeah, and I started working at IBM. And was the first experience that I had in sales. Right, I was working in Brazil, but at the same time supporting different types of US sales structure. And this is curious because I've I've been working with sales primarily in 2004, 2005 in a sales consultant business. It was a startup, by the way, more like agribusiness or agriculture business per se, but it was really interesting. Even scientific papers, I published a lot of papers. I was in college, graduating from business administration. It was really interesting to have this contact with other sales teams. Most of the time, we were dealing in 2004 with a lot of tech, not so modern, but with I'll say that tech was still too far away from what we are now. But my first experience was there, right? And then it came at IBM. So I'll say that it was the national experience 2004 and the international one in 2008. Uh, and I'll say that when we start working in sales, we have like a tendency, like a pattern. I don't know about yourself, but it's like an archetype. And in this first episode, I would like also to explain why the eagle sails, right? I like history. I like to study. I have a lot of books in different languages. I speak a lot of languages, so Portuguese, Spanish, English. I'm learning Italian. I already learned Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, um, German, French. Anyways, there's a lot of ones that I didn't remember now. But as soon as you learn a new language, you use different parts of your brain. So I love neuroscience. I study a lot of about it, of the brain, how the brain is structured, about the ancient civilizations, and the eagle was a symbol, right? The eagle was the symbol from many empires. If we think about the eagle, eagle was like eagle is a English word, but the word comes from the Latin, okay, from the Latin, and it was known as Aquila. And Aquila is águia in Portuguese, for instance. In English is eagle, and Aquila for the Roman Republic or the Roman Empire was like a symbol, and this symbol was repeated, used by many empires. Even Hitler used it, right? The eagle, and what the eagle means. The eagle means the freedom, means uh, that we can fly higher, that we can fly away from everything that we have, or the problems, or the constraints, the pain points, to reach new levels on our lives. So to raise the bar, right? The expression, raise the bar. So that's what eagles represents. That's why I've chosen the eagle sails. So when we are talking here about sales, we're talking about this level, this symbol, this archetype. If you're looking to improve your sales skills, the way you're conducting your sales calls, B2B calls, B2C as well. It could be use it as well. Most of the time, I'm going to talk about B2B, but B2C as well. SaaS, tech, artificial intelligence or AI, um, anything related to the way that we communicate, negotiation, even NLP, neuro, that's neuro linguistic programming, rapport, psychology, even the ways that we're now using for sales models like spin selling, Medic, Challenger. There are a bunch of structures today, but we're going to talk more about in detail in every episode. But I would like to record this first episode that's more like an introduction of what's coming for you. Okay. If I was if I were you, I would like to have the other person, the speaker, explaining why he did it, or even why did you create it. Okay? And the Eagle Sales represents that, and that's why I'm just with my cell phone here recording this first episode, because when you have a dream, when you believe, you fly high. You don't think about the challenges. You don't think about the problems that you might face. You just go. And that's really important in sales, because the salesperson, it he or she has an archetype. And I always compare this archetype with the Spartan warrior, for instance. We're always, every day, struggling ourselves, fighting hard, updating our CRMs, sending emails, cold calling, sending SMSs, right, to people, even using other technologies like AI or even other programs, softwares, SaaS. We're always trying to improve ourselves, but at the same time, we're trying to convince someone from something better for their life. So we are helping people, we're helping lives. And most of the time, when we are not confident, when we are not fulfilling ourselves like a mission, right, a life purpose, we cannot reach that main goal on ourselves. That's why, for instance, if you're facing problems in your sales process, sales team, if you're a C-level person, a manager, director, or even if you're a account executive, SDR, BDR, it depends. The job titles always is always changing, are always changing. In this case, the plural. But one thing is important, right? You are always trying to get better, 1% every day. When you are thinking that way, you want to achieve something. And so if you're facing problems, you want to understand why I'm facing it, why, and how should I deal with this transaction, with this cold call, with this email that I need to send today, or even the proposals. I need to update my CRM independently. Pipedrive, Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho. I don't know which programs you use. There's a bunch of programs today, right? A lot of tools. I understand and what I'm feeling right now. That's why I created the Eagle Sales, is to help you to understand that you are so concerned about the external that you forgot the true story of yourself, right? You are not seeing yourself in the mirror like a metaphor, right? As soon as you see in the mirror, you can see that you are copying, like a copycat idea. You're copying everybody else, but you're not dealing with your sales the way that you're supposed to be. That's all by yourself. The way that you conduct the calls. You are trying to memorize, right? To mesmerize sometimes, or even to be so um, not so original, I'll say. So you're trying to you read a book, right? You watch a movie, You just listen to a podcast and the guy said, "Oh, you need to do this to get successful," or even you need to do this to increase your sales, right? In the internet or in your niche, in your industry. But most of the time, you do not believe it. And when you try to sell something that you do not believe it, you're not going to achieve anything, my friend. So the one thing that's important to say on this first episode is be yourself, be original, fly high. That's the main goal of this podcast, of this idea that's coming with this first episode that's going to increase. But the first thing that you need to prioritize now is that the eagle fly alone, but they also fly with their friends. That are going to be other eagles. So let's do that together. I hope you enjoy every episode. I'm here to bring you a new content the way I can, because I don't have any pattern or even how it's going to be. But one thing I know, that you need to be yourself 100%. Okay. I wish you a great day. See you next episode. Bye. Take care.